So, what is the constructor and what's the purpose of it? We see here none and 10, which is the same values we saw in the previous lesson. And the constructor is used when we create an object in the Python program. And the constructor just blindly does whatever it sees. And when I write square like this, I'm calling the class and creating an object. And I can do this several times. It doesn't really matter. I'm creating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different objects. And I could also run this. But as you know, and if you remember, all these are just left and disappear after the program. These are called instance variables or attribute instances, and they define the behavior or the state of an object at any point in time. So let me demonstrate that again and say, like, I have my, say I want to create a red square. And I also want to create a blue square. Now if I would print this out and print the blue object like this, I would see none and none. To fix that, I could do like this and also like this. Okay, and print again and see that I have the values red and blue. So this is interesting to note. I've called the square class twice, assigned that to this variable. Then I've taken the instance attribute and assigned it a value, a text value. And we saw that printing each object is unique. So the red square.color will not affect the blue square.color or vice versa. Okay, so what are these squares that we talk about here? We have the red square, we have the blue square, and we changed the value of the attribute instance. And how do they really relate to each other? Enter class diagrams. And a class diagram is your visualization of any type of class. And usually what you have is a rectangular or some kind of box. And within that box you have all the attributes belonging to that class. Now let us see how this relates to the objects. What we have is now class diagram and object diagrams. So we can see that a square has the number of attributes and objects have the same attributes, but their values are different. They are unique to every object instance. So when we create a new square, the object will automatically have those variables or these attributes, and the values of these are stored in the object. So what this means that we will always be sure of that every object is independent, and if one is deleted, the other is not. Okay, so the constructor then will take care of the assignment of these values and basically creating the object for us. Now we can customize the constructor, which we will see later, but for now it's good to see the constructor as the ignition to our objects. So whenever we call a class, the constructor is called and our object is created and returned to us for storage in a variable, for example.